This is where you realize number one, you're either a winner or a loser. Look, I 50x my income when I changed my life. I'm doing better than everyone else I know. No, I'm not even joking.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Hi. Sorry I'm late, everybody. I'm just really busy doing cool things off the internet. And also Marie actually manifested this, so you can thank her in the live chat. Welcome, everyone. I got some feedback recently. I don't know why you guys didn't tell me this sooner. But apparently my mic levels on these live streams is incredibly low. So I have been messing around with it all week trying to fix it. So let me know if this is any better. I have it on far away. I guess to get this mic to work, you're supposed to talk into it like this, but I don't like that. So I've been playing around with the levels. You can let me know if it's any better. But I am trying my best. So anyway, welcome back. Bubba is here. Very depressed that he has to work today, as am I. Let's be honest. Aaron says, still not rich, but I do have a Dr. Pepper. So I guess that's something. I will admit that I failed to wait for you guys today. And I already cracked open my drink. I am drinking the President's Choice Pineapple Coconut Sparkling Water. So good. If you live in Canada, run, don't walk to your local store and buy some. Robert says sound is better. Rodney says volume is fine. Better tonight. Okay, cool. Yeah, the comment said that they were listening to the live stream, but they have to turn the volume up so loud that they get blasted with ads, which sounds like my worst nightmare. So I do apologize, but hopefully moving forward, it will be better. Marie celebrates 19 months of membership. I have more money now than 19 months ago, and that's on How to Manifest. So if you want to learn how to get rich, guys, join the membership because we are all rolling in it over there, let me tell you. Okay. Full disclosure, for a little bit of context as to why I was 10 minutes late, I was hiking. If you saw my Instagram stories, you might know. And I didn't get home till about less than an hour ago. So I got home, took a shower, posted on my Instagram because if we've learned anything, it's this.
Take trips, post on Instagram. Buy a cool car, post on Instagram. Get your Instagram popping.
You got to get your Instagram popping. So I was busy doing that. Next thing you know, it's almost 4 o'clock and I'm not ready. So that being said, I also don't know where I left what we're going to watch today. So hopefully I can still find it. Oh, I did. Okay, great. I left the tab open. Oh, sometimes I am so smart. So that's what we're going to have a look at. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we're going back to one of the business boss babe internet OGs, if you will, Marie Forleo. We looked at her a few years ago now. I have the stream where we talked about her for the first time linked in the description. Are we just going to be watching the same webinar as 2 to 3 years ago? Possibly, because I didn't actually go back and watch that stream, so I don't even know what we looked at there. But we're trying our best, okay? Monica, yes. To answer your question, are we going to get rich? Absolutely, that's the hope. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the content. And I will pull the chat up on the screen. There we go.
Move it so you can see the baby Bubba.
Okay. Oh, and you can see him here. Okay, hold on. I messed this up. This is my desktop background. Aren't we so cute? Oh my God. I love that guy. Hold on. It's like I forgot how to use the internet. I go offline for 24 hours. And next thing you know, I don't remember how the internet works. It's giving boomer energy, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, speaking of boomers, actually, guys, if you missed it, I got cast on a game show. and it's airing this week. So if you live in Canada, you should watch it. I will be watching it the following day. But it airs this Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on CTV. And then the replay will be available on Crave Canada or ctv.ca. For those of you that aren't in Canada, I am currently trying to find out from production how you can watch it. So maybe keep up to date on my Instagram stories over the next few days, because I will share that information, as well as probably here on the community tab on YouTube. Anyway, I bring that all up because the game show specifically is called Battle of the Generations, and it's where a Gen Z, a millennial, a Gen X, and a boomer all compete against each other, answering trivia questions. So I make digs at the boomers because I competed against them on this game show. So if you missed the announcement, I posted it on my YouTube Shorts if you want to go and watch that. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. So I'll go back to what we were going to talk about. Catching up on the comments. What is up, Julia? Sweet Goth is here. Space Pastry, hello. Love it, love it, love it. Julia says, share casting tips. I can show my whole casting tape. If you want to see it, let me know. I'll make an Instagram reel or something where I post it. Honestly, this is like the most cliche advice, but it worked well for me, is like truly just be yourself. Like in my tape, I'm literally just like, what's up? I literally filmed it in this setup with all my YouTube stuff and was like, yo, here's what's up. I'm pretty sure I was the personality hire, let's be honest. Okay, Bubba is giving us more FOMO than Marie Forleo. Bubba is like living the dream, this guy, let me tell you. Okay, so this was the email. This whole thing started because Marie Forleo popped up on my Facebook ads, as they all tend to do. And it was promoting some webinar that was going to teach me the 3 steps to a profitable business fast. And the thing that I think irritates me the most about any of these sort of like OG business online gurus, so whether it's Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher, any of these people that have been around for, 10 plus years, who were very successful, allegedly, I think the thing that irritates me the most is that they built their businesses at a time when they were sort of like what is the word? They were at like the forefront of the online business space. So they got into the market when there wasn't a ton of competition. People didn't really know what they were doing. And they were able to capitalize on this opportunity to build a business when not like hundreds of other people were doing the same thing. Whereas now I feel like if you're starting a business online, regardless of what niche you're in, the market is pretty saturated. Not to say that you can't be successful, but I think it was a lot easier if you were good at what you did back then to build a massive business, a massive audience, versus now it requires a lot more skill set, a lot more specificity, and a lot more patience. And so the reason why I thought we could look at her today is because I have this perspective now where I really don't think that any of these sort of OG business gurus are in touch with what the actual market is like right now and what it's like to start a business in 2025. And so I thought it would be interesting to watch this webinar through that lens and just kind of see whether or not she's come back to reality or if she's still kind of spewing the same nonsense that worked back in 2010, 2012, etc. Pioneers. Thank you. That's the word. Space Pastry says, I used to like her videos. I paid for her copy cure course. Didn't do B School. Thank goodness. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on B School. A lot of people say it's very basic. So for those of you that aren't familiar, B School is like Marie Forleo's sort of most successful, I would say, offering. And my understanding is that it teaches you how to build a business. B School, business school. But the mixed reviews I've heard, some people say like, oh, it's very basic advice you could find elsewhere on the internet. And I think it costs around $2,000 US, or it used to. And then other people say like, oh my God, it was so helpful and it changed my life. However, I'm always wary of like the people who think that things are super helpful, oftentimes in my experience, are just people that like literally don't know how to do anything. And so it's helpful for them because they're literally starting from zero and they don't know that you could just find the information elsewhere online. So I made it to unicorn. I've arrived. One needs no more other than this pinnacle of success. Thank you. Congratulations. I noticed quite a few people turned into piggy banks recently, which truly, 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 from the bottom of my heart, I am so, so appreciative. If you don't know what I'm talking about, as a channel member, the longer you stay in the membership, your little emoji next to your name evolves. And so once you complete 1 year of membership, you become a unicorn. Once you complete 2 years, which is so, so crazy to me, you become a piggy bank. So I love to see that. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who supports the channel. If you're not a member, that's okay too. I appreciate your support just as well. Suzanne says, I did B-School. I thought the free content was better. Yikes. The ones who say it changed their life probably became affiliates for it. Also very true. I know she had a massive affiliate program where I'm pretty sure you make like 50%. Like if I am an affiliate and I convince you to sign up, I get 50% of what you paid, which is a crazy amount in my opinion. Okay, so anyway, all that to say, let's get to the point. So in this webinar today, we are going to be watching how to, I don't even know, the shockingly popular business advice that keeps you broke and why doing the opposite guarantees success. Curious? How one insight took an entrepreneur from 100K to 4 million a year. We love to hear a single one-off anecdotal story and pretend that it applies to everyone. And then last, why chasing the algorithm is killing you. So I'm very, very curious to see if anything in this webinar is useful or if it's all just going to be a bunch of fluff that pitches us some program at the end. That's my guess of where this is headed, but we'll see. Monica's celebrating 11 months of membership, almost reaching 1 year. Monica, I just want you to remember this one thing.
Have you really got that you are God?
And to all of you here on the channel that are channel members, I just have one question.
Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling grateful? Are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling relief? Are you feeling, how does that feel?
How does it feel? I imagine it feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and get right into this training. Now that I've said that 400 times, maybe it'll come true. Okay, can you guys see this? Yes, you can. Live, laugh, love it. Ugh, what is this music? I'm going to get copyrighted. Hold on. How the hell do I get this thing to go away? Oh my God, this is so annoying. I don't know. Horrible, horrible,
You want
horrible.
a fast track to financial freedom. We're going from idea to income, which includes 3 steps
How's the sound? It's very loud for me, but let me know if it's very loud for you.
to build a profitable business fast in 2025. If this year has you feeling uncertain about the future, you are so not alone. The economy is most definitely shifting. AI is changing everything, and there's an avalanche of conflicting business advice pretty much everywhere you turn. But here's what most people don't tell you. No matter what changes are happening right now, there is still a proven path to build a sustainable, profitable business. One that gives you the freedom and the flexibility and the impact that you crave. And that's exactly what you're gonna get here today in our class. Isn't that good? Yes, I think so too. So by the end of this class, you're gonna know 3 simple steps that separate those who are gonna make real money in 2025 and beyond from those who are gonna struggle, burn out, and quit. Sound good? Yes? Okay, let's dive in. So this training is for you if you're just starting out and you're drowning in a million ideas with no clear path forward. It's also for you if you've got a side hustle, but what you really want is you want to take that thing full time. It's also for you if you've got a full-time business, but right now it's just way too much work for not enough money.
Okay, I muted myself and then I couldn't find where I put my mic. Oh my God, this is a nightmare. This webinar setup is making me angry because I can't see it. Okay, I paused myself. I paused the webinar to say this. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I will often, recite the red flags of what should we look out for to avoid getting scammed by someone who calls themselves a business coach or someone who promises to help us build our business. Number one thing, in my opinion, you can let me know what you think in the comments. Number one thing that I would say is like a huge, huge glaring red flag where I know like chances are this is probably a scam is someone who claims to be able to help anyone at any stage of their business. Just one second. I got to let Bubba out of the room. Anyone who is truly an expert in their craft typically is an expert in one very specific subset of their business or like area of expertise. Like if you think about when you go to a doctor, for example, if you have some sort of illness, I recently was getting tested for rheumatoid arthritis, for example, and I had to go to a very specific doctor who only specializes in rheumatoid arthritis and other diseases that are related to that, not my regular nurse practitioner, because that's not his area of expertise. And if I went next week and I had some freaking weird rash on my face, he might refer me to a dermatologist because the dermatologist specializes in skin and abnormalities that have to do with the skin, not the regular doctor. And so I just think that's obviously sort of a metaphor, if you will, or like just an example outside of business. I just think that if you want help building your business, you should go to someone who either specializes in your stage of business or specializes in your specific business. Does that make sense? Exactly. Suzanne says, why do they even bother with the this is for you when it is for everyone? That's another part that I don't really understand. So that's a great point. I just think that like if I'm, and this is my issue with these type of like OG internet business gurus, if I want help building my business tomorrow, I'm going to start a brand new candle making business. I want to get advice from someone who's done it within the last, 1, 2, 3 years. I don't want advice from this mega candle company that started during the pandemic and blew up viral on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, you need to really think about, who am I getting this advice from? Is their experience relevant to mine? And are they actually a specialist in the thing that I need help with? No one size fits all unless you are grifting. Bingo, Rodney, you hit the nail on the head there. Sweet Goth says, red flag is calling it fast track to financial freedom for starters. Touche. Great point. Bubba has already had enough. Ain't that the truth? Haven't we all? Okay, let's continue.
Or maybe life pulled you way off track and starting your business again, it just feels overwhelming and uncertain. If you're nodding your head right now saying yes, 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 and more yes, you are in the perfect place. In fact, if you've ever secretly thought to yourself, you know what? I just wish someone would say, do this first, second, and third in my business. Wish granted. Because today I'm going to show you exactly how to go from scattered and stuck to focused and profitable very, very fast.
I really feel as though, because this is like a training about AI, I really think AI made these slides. Let me just say that first. Second of all, red flag number 2 box that she's checking off is this. I can tell you do this, then this, then this, and you'll be successful. Because as we know, especially those of you in the audience who own businesses, no two businesses are alike. And even if I've built the same business you want to build, and I tell you exactly everything I've done, your chances of having the same success as me or even the same business as me, pretty slim, because you are not me and we do not have the same business, even if on the outside it kind of looks the same.
Now you might be wondering to yourself, Marie, how can you be so confident about this? The world is a mess right now. It's because I've actually been where you are. I started my business 25 years ago. The economy was a mess, and honestly, so was I.
Exactly. You started your business 25 years ago. So why are you giving people advice on how to start a business when you haven't done it in 25 years? That's crazy.
Deep in debt, I had no connections, no MBA, no trust fund, no safety net. I was working crazy hours, bartending, waiting tables, cleaning toilets, you name it, just to make ends meet. Plus, I'm also a wildly different kind of human, if you don't know that already. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and I have an ADHD brain, which means I always want to do all the things all the time.
Is that really that different, though? I feel like everyone I know who's an entrepreneur likes to do a lot of different things all the time. I feel like in this day and age, that's not a unique quality, being multi-passionate. Let me know in the comments if you're multi-passionate. I would consider myself to be such. So I don't know. It just doesn't feel that unique anymore.
So I can find it very difficult to sit down and focus. So I get it. I spent years struggling and spinning my wheels until I finally cracked the profitability code. And when I did, let me tell you something, everything changed. I discovered a simple strategic system that helped me create a powerhouse global business that's been profitable every single year. And it's given me, honestly, a level of joy and impact so far beyond what I ever imagined was possible. And it's not just me. I've now helped over 80,000 entrepreneurs just like you make real money and real impact using the same strategic system. And I'm super proud to say,
Julia wants to know if we're only supposed to have one interest or passion. Great question. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. The argument doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's fair. Space Pastry says, I'm multi-passionate, not an entrepreneur. It's not specific to entrepreneurs. That wasn't what I was suggesting, but I was specifically saying that because I think people who are entrepreneurs, that's like a common characteristic that we all share. So I'm not saying it's exclusive to entrepreneurs, but I'm saying if you are an entrepreneur, chances are you consistently have 1,000 ideas that you're like, I could make this a business. At least that's been my experience. I know my partner is like that. He is always like coming up with new business ideas. So I just find it funny that she's like, oh, I'm so weird and quirky and different because I have so many interests and passions. And I'm like, I think, I don't know. Suzanne says taking money from them isn't the same as helping them. I also love the part where she said, I've been profitable every year because like technically if your business makes $1 in profit, then it's a profitable business. So I would love to see the profit margins specifically. Harrison says, blah, 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 Marie Forleo. That's how I feel too.
That the strategic system I'm talking about, it is called B School, and our track record is astonishing. Our B School grads include countless from-scratch millionaires and some of the biggest, most popular influencers today. Everyone from Hollywood actors, yoga teachers, coaches, store owners, best-selling authors, event planners, educators.
Okay, but we're not naming anyone specific. Love to see that.
Artists, Christmas ornament makers, musicians, app makers, meditation teachers, coffee subscription box owners, rafting guys, real estate moguls, influencers, baseball teams, and so many more. That's why I know with 100% certainty that this step-by-step system really works in any economy, in any industry, and when you start to use it, I guarantee it'll work for you too.
Okay, so what is it? Are you going to tell us or are you just going to sell us the whole time? Suzanne says she's pitching at the beginning. Wow, I guess we're reaching a new level of desperation, allegedly, in my opinion.
Now, one last thing. Stick around till the end because I have a gift for you.
Monica's asking, what is B School? B School is her like OG successful program where I believe she built most of her wealth. And it's basically, Suzanne can correct me in the comments, but I believe it's like, it stands for business school and it teaches you how to like start and build a business. And it's $2,000 US, or it was anyway.
This super simple tool that'll help you generate fast cash practically out of thin air. It's called the Instant Moneymaker Campaign. And legit, This thing works like friggin' magic. Lori made $1,500 in just 45 minutes. She says, okay, huge hug to Marie and Team Forleo. I spent today implementing the Instant Moneymaker campaign. I hit send on the email and 45 minutes ago, already made $1,500 in sales. My goal.
Guys, I think that might be a new level of crazy. $1,500 in 45 minutes.
Was 3,500, blah, blah, blah. I get it. You know and I don't, and you'll guide me on a path to greater success. Thank you. Love you. So that's exciting. Susan also made $36,000 in just 3 days. Check this out. She said, you guys, I used Marie's Moneymaker webinar bonus this week and closed out an additional $36,000 in revenue in just 3 days. Essentially, we offer a premium certification program, blah, 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 all this stuff, an extra 36 grand, woohoo, thanks to B School. And then Andy tried it. And he said, after 1 day of work and daddying, I made $3,600.
This is actually crazy. We are only 5 minutes into what looks like, I can't see because our freaking fast action bonus won't go away. Maybe a 45-minute webinar, and she's already sharing testimonials, pitching us why we should buy. This is like next level. Okay, I'm just going to skip past some of these testimonials.
Want to pay for. I want you to write this one down. Don't follow your passion, follow the money. Look, passion is most definitely the spark, right? But if you don't align your passion with what people are willing to pay for, you're going to end up exhausted, frustrated, and broke. But here's the very good news. The key isn't about choosing between your passion and your profit. It's to combine them.
I want to address Monica's comment here. She says red flag. So red flag number 3, putting how much money someone made. Specifically, I would say putting how much money someone made and taking credit for it entirely. And what I mean by that is like, okay, let's pretend I hire, Jane Doe, the business coach, to help me build a funnel for my website. Next thing you know, I set up this funnel, and then in the next week, I make $5,000. Jane Doe could come along and say, cause and effect, you set up this funnel, you made $5,000. Therefore, you made $5,000 because of my funnel. When the reality is, I probably built an audience and had trust with people who were warm buyers anyway, ready to buy. The funnel was just kind of part of the system that allowed them to be able to buy. But it's not 100% the reason why people bought from me. And so I always find it interesting. This isn't unique to this woman specifically. I see all of these gurus do it. Is they take 100% of the credit when they're only responsible, I suppose, for a portion of why those people got those results. Like, people have a business outside of just the thing that their business coach helps them with. And so I always find it interesting when they want to take 100% of the credit. Suzanne says, honest question here. Does anyone ever pay attention to testimonials? I never read them. In fact, I find them annoying. In the context of online coaches and stuff like that, I wouldn't probably pay much attention to the testimonials personally. But I will say if I'm buying a product or a service, in my regular life, then I do pay attention to reviews, but not the kind of website testimonials. But put in the chat whether or not testimonials are important for you, please, because that's a good question and I am very curious. Suzanne says, takes 100% of the credit and none of the responsibility when their system doesn't work. Exactly. That's the part that really pisses me off. Because I'm like, if you're saying, whatever her name was, Susan, made $1,500 in 45 minutes, all thanks to your system. Well, what about, Sally, who probably didn't make any money, all thanks to your system? What's your answer for that? Huh? What do you think? Let me know. Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
But you got to do this in a very smart and strategic way. You got to find what I call your sweet spot. It's this magical place where your passion and your strengths intersect with a hungry market. And you want to know the best news ever? Any business owner can do this. And once you do, you're going to unlock bigger profits very, very fast.
I wouldn't say any business owner can do this, but I would say any successful business owner has done this. And I think there's a difference between that, because this is something that I always talk about too, is if you're starting a business, you want to find this like intersection. I think of like a Venn diagram where I have, the things I'm interested in, the things that I either have the skill in already or have the ability to acquire the skill in, and then the things that people actually want to pay their money for. And you want to like think of where those three things overlap. And any successful business, people who are actually making money and have a sustainable, profitable business, have figured that out. They figured out, what they're interested in, what they have the skill to deliver on, and what people actually want to pay money for. What I will say is not every business can do this, because more often than not, what we actually see is people only paying attention to the two things of what are they interested in, what do they have the skills in, and they kind of forget the part about what people actually want to pay money for. And so oftentimes people will start businesses because they are passionate about something and they love to do something, but it's not something other people care about or actually want to spend their money on. And so for her to say that any business can do it, I think is incredibly misleading. I think successful businesses have done it, but not every business will do it, because not every business idea is a viable business at the end of the day.
And look, if you're just starting out, you want to get this part right from the jump so you and your business can become a huge success, not a statistic. So how exactly do you do this? Let's break it down. I want you to meet Erin. Erin was extremely passionate about flowers, but she was working way too hard for not enough income. She said, when I joined B School, I was running a small flower farm and selling bouquets, grossing a little over $100,000 a year. I had no employees. My husband, my two small children, and I did all the work. In B School, Marie had us look at what we were doing, what people wanted, and where it overlapped. I realized the direction I was going wasn't what our followers really wanted. It was a hard pill to swallow, but it changed my life. We now focus on education and have a thriving product line. And our business took off. Our in-person workshops were featured in the New York Times and a slew of other press. We recently retired them because we couldn't meet the demand. They sold out in minutes. And I just wrapped up our online training program and had another 7-figure launch. My business generated over $4 million this year.
Yeah, this is actually wild. Suzanne's asking, is this a training or is this an ad for B School? We're now 8 minutes in. And other than that little piece of advice of, find your passion and what people will pay for, we haven't been taught anything. So love that for us.
I know. Those are some pretty big numbers, from 100,000 to 4 million. To be clear, Erin wasn't thinking, oh my God, I have to make $1 gajillion. But she did ask herself, how can I better understand what my people really want? Because it turns out they didn't want the bouquets she was passionately and painstakingly making by hand. But you know what they really wanted? A garden like hers. Pay attention, because this insight can change your life. Erin's big break didn't come from blindly following her passion. It came from following the money. She stopped chasing what she thought people wanted, and she started solving the problem that they actually had. In other words, she followed the exact profitability code that we taught her in B School.
Oh my God, Rodney says, this is like going to the movies and never seeing the movie, just the trailers.
And the results speak for themselves. But wait, because this gets even better if you can believe it. By using our system to find her business sweet spot, her success launched even higher into the stratosphere. Erin's now become a New York Times best-selling author. Her book was endorsed by the one and only Martha Stewart. And then she published a third book, and then Joanna Gaines came calling. Erin got her own show on the Magnolia Network, which was then nominated for an Emmy. So to recap, by following the money, not just her passion, Erin became one of the most well-known flower farmers in the world. She increased her annual revenue from $100,000 to over $4 million, which is nearly a 4,000% increase in her growth. She wrote and published 3 best-selling books. She was featured in the New York Times, Vogue, House & Garden, the Wall Street Journal, Real Simple, and many more. She added 24 acres of land to expand her seed business, and no big deal, she created an Emmy-nominated documentary series on the Magnolia Network. And by the way, she continues to inspire and impact the lives of millions of people doing what she loves. I say, pretty damn genius. Now look, you
1000%. Space Pastry says, if she can do it, so can you. And that, as you all know, is my irritation with all of these people, is they want to not only make it sound like anyone can start a business and it will be successful if you just follow my formula, but they also then want to paint you a picture of, for example, just look at Erin here and see how successful she's been. And because she did it, this could be you. That's what they're trying to do. They want you to envision yourself as if you are this Erin farm lady and you could be the next version of this, being featured in the New York Times, recommended by Martha Stewart, blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to make that sound like, because I feel like sometimes the two can get conflated where it's like, well, you're just a hater and you think you have a bad mindset and you don't think anyone can be successful. No, I think there is power in people sharing their wins and being like, look at this thing I did. And I'm just a regular girl, dude, guy, whatever. And if I did it, it's available to you too. I think there's a difference between doing that versus promising someone that because someone else did it, they can do it too. Like if I showed up on the internet and was like, hey guys, I'm just a regular girl that started a YouTube channel and look at me now. You could try it and you could do it too. That's true. I don't really have anything special about me other than like I accumulated the right equipment. I found a topic to talk about and people wanted to hear what I had to say. Cool. Does that mean that anyone who starts a YouTube channel is going to be successful because I said that? No, but it is possible. I think the idea of possible and probable is something to consider. Just because something is possible doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen. But these kind of presentations, allegedly in my opinion, make it seem like it's probable for everyone. If she did it, it's guaranteed to happen for you. And that's what I think the difference is. I think we can take inspiration from people who are doing things that we want to do, but not necessarily believe that because they did it, we can also do it too. Or we're going to be successful. This comment says, I'm a Midwesterner and there's a stereotype that East Coasters like Marie Forleo being from New Jersey are better educated, but there was no evidence of an IQ in her stuff. Yikes. I have no comment. Harrison says, but on your $2 life coach certification, you said I too could become a YouTube superstar. Did you read the fine print where I said that everything I say is neither true nor factually sound? I'm a liar. Guys, if you didn't know that yet, you should know that nothing I say is true. I'm just a little dumb idiot on the internet who tricked you all into wasting your time watching me yap. You're welcome.
May not be dreaming of a 24-acre farm or winning an Emmy. However, can you imagine what that kind of growth would mean for your business? What that kind of success would mean for your bank account and your life? Imagine how confident you're going to feel knowing exactly what to focus on in your business.
Get into the feeling. Feel how successful. How does that feel? It feels so good. Now give me all your money. And then you're going to feel pretty bad probably. Chances are.
No more stressing, no more guessing, just serving from a place of clarity and confidence. Just imagine never having to choose between your passion and making money ever again. Because guess what, honey? You get to do both. So let's turn this insight into action. You ready for it? I want you to ask yourself this. Am I selling exactly what people really want to buy? Am I solving a specific problem that people are eager and willing to pay for? If not, or you're just not sure, need to consider this. What if you stopped chasing what you think people want and started solving real problems they actually have? Because here's the truth. To run a sustainable business in 2025, you need to serve a specific hungry audience and offer them exactly what they most want to buy.
Why is she acting like this is brand new information? I feel like if this is any indication of what is in B School, again, I've never done it. I don't know anything. I would be pretty upset. Like, this is 1000% one of the first things I ever learned in business. I remember when I started my business, I probably have the book in the other room. I'm going to look it up. I believe it's called The $100 Startup. And essentially it goes over, how you can start. Yeah. The $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau. You can buy it for like $10. And it goes over all of the different steps to like starting a business for $100. And one of the first lessons from that book, I read this book, 8 years ago when I was starting a business. And one of the first lessons is what I explained earlier with the like Venn diagram of figuring out what you like and what people actually want to pay for. And so the fact that she just keeps repeating this over and over again as if it's like the most revolutionary thing that no one has ever come up with before. And I know the secrets to success and this is the secret to success. It's like, girl, if I asked ChatGPT, what's the most important part of starting a business? It's probably going to tell me finding product market fit, which is exactly what this is. Product market fit is when your product fits into the market. You have the thing that people want to buy. Why? Why are we acting like this is revolutionary? I just don't understand. Monica says, this is so bad. Suzanne says, this is the worst thing we've ever watched, in my opinion. It's just a sales pitch. No. It's not just a sales pitch. We are learning the most basic information we could have found on Google. And that's on period.
Now in B School, which I hope you're going to join us for, you're going to discover 23 questions that reveal exactly what people want to buy from you so that your profits and your sanity are virtually guaranteed.
Virtually guaranteed. They're not guaranteed, but they're virtually guaranteed, which means if it doesn't work out, well, I never said it was guaranteed. So.
And the best part of all, once you get this clarity, you're going to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing bigger results and better results fast. Sound good? All right, let's keep moving to step number 2. So, can we talk about social media for a second? Recently, I surveyed thousands of entrepreneurs and I asked, what's the number one thing that's holding you back from growing your business? And so many people said things like this. I got on Instagram to grow my audience, but I'm spending countless hours creating free content with nothing to show for it. Or social media is killing me. I always feel like I should be posting more and more to be successful, but I don't want to spend my life on it. Or I just hate social media. I feel forced to do something I don't enjoy, and that doesn't pay the bills. Any of this sound familiar? If so, let me tell you, you are not alone. But more importantly, this highlights what I think is one of the most dangerous mistakes I still see so many smart business owners making that's keeping them broke and struggling, which is this. You're spending way too much time and energy trying to grow your business on social media and not nearly enough time on the one asset that gets 40 times the results and will pay you for the rest of your life.
Okay, just pausing quick to answer Suzanne's question of what was step 1. Step 1 was follow the money. So now we're moving on to step 2.
Look, to get the financial freedom, the time freedom, that long-term security that I know you crave, here's what you got to understand. You don't own the connection to your audience on social media, which makes you...
Let me guess, she's going to teach us, start an email list.
extremely vulnerable because when those platforms change their algorithm or they change their terms and services or people leave or they get banned, you and your business get friggin' foobarred. And we've just seen this happen, right? I mean, this is recent. TikTok had that little ban for a minute. Everybody was losing their mind. And it's been happening for years now on all the platforms. We've seen this with Facebook. When they go down, people lose their minds. Instagram, businesses were losing faith after the algorithm changes. They can't reach everybody. Plus, have you noticed the algorithm changes constantly, even to this day? What worked 2 days ago or 3 weeks ago doesn't work anymore.
I want to look at her Instagram, just pausing to do that because I think that this is going to be very telling. I'm going to guess, if she doesn't have me blocked, she probably has horrible engagement because, again, she was one of these people who was up and coming on Instagram, you know, in the early mid 2010s. And so, yeah, things have changed so much. Probably because no one wants you to show your grift anymore. Okay, so she has almost 1 million followers. Yeah, and she's got, 400 likes, 200 likes, 190 likes, 100 likes. Like, that's not good engagement. 1 million, almost 1 million people are following you and only 100 people like your post. Like, I was embarrassed that I was only getting 100 likes on a post and I only have 6,000 followers. So now I feel pretty good about myself, to be honest. But yeah, so I just find that kind of telling that she's saying, like, kind of like shitting on social media, being like, oh, the algorithms are changing, which is true, but very, very interesting that she's going to like be like, oh, don't waste your time there. Because I know for a lot of people, myself included, have built very successful businesses purely through social media. Should that be your be all end all? No. But I do think in this day and age, it is an important component to have, at least. And yeah, to Rodney's point here, I was told last week to repurpose on social media. If anyone watched last week's training, the woman was saying post 3 times a day in 5 minutes on social media. So like even the gurus can't agree on what is good advice.
Which actually means that a tiny fraction of people who want to see your posts actually see your posts. Here's the truth. If your business primarily depends on a platform that you don't own, you're building on quicksand. And that is not a smart thing to do. I don't want you to do this. Plus, here's something else that most people don't know. Big numbers on social media, they do not always translate to big money. So let me tell you a story. I've never actually told this one before. I was talking to someone recently who has over 18 million followers on TikTok. It's pretty big numbers, right? Anyway, they told me they were crazy excited because they'd been working on their new online course for over a year, putting so much time and energy and sweat into it. And based on their massive TikTok following, they projected at least $1 million in revenue, which is not an unreasonable estimate based on that amount of fans, right? Anyway, guess what happened when they launched? Yep, a whole lot of that. They barely made any sales at all. In fact, hardly enough to even cover their production costs.
Okay, but give us some more context. Was this person building their following in the specific niche that they were selling this product? What was their strategy, etc.? Like, I know people, I think I talked about this last week. There's a woman I follow in a specific niche for the fact that she created content about this specific topic. And she recently shifted into how to become a content creator coaching. And now she's selling a course on how to become a content creator. And she struggled to make 5 sales and fill out her program, even though she has 80,000 followers on Instagram, because the 80,000 people that followed her were following her for her content about that specific topic. Like, let's just pretend it was how to apply lip gloss. So she made a Instagram where she would make videos on how to apply lip gloss, and she got 80,000 followers about that topic. That's not the topic. I'm just being silly. Now she wants to sell a course on how to become a content creator. Well, yeah, obviously I'm not going to buy that from you because I want to hear about the lip gloss. I don't want to hear about the content creator course. And so give me some context about who this person was with 18 million followers. What was their niche? Was the course they were selling related to the niche? Because that's a huge factor in whether or not you're actually going to be successful and able to make sales.
There were so few sales that it put their entire company at risk. So I asked to see their marketing because I just wanted to offer some insight to give them some help. First thing I noticed, there were at least 7 critical elements missing from their sales page. Sadly, they were clearly not B-schoolers. And then I asked to see their email campaign that was related to their launch. And they said, oh, well, we've only focused on our social media growth. We don't really have an email list. That's me. Then, that's more me. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I almost passed out. I was so devastated for them.
I want to know, please, in the live chat, let me know. Do you often buy things from people's email list? Like, I see a lot of people that preach the same story, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but so many people say, don't rely on social media. You should have an email list, focus all your attention on your email list. You're going to get the most sales through email. Are people actively and regularly engaging with email lists? I would love to know your experience. Just like, I know for me personally, I am subscribed to a few newsletters, but I don't always read them every week. And even when they have like a sale, I don't really tend to buy. Like, email lists don't really work for me. I'm probably more likely to be someone who buys from social media, but obviously my experience is not universal. And so if you are someone who frequently purchases things from people's email lists, I would love to hear about it. Because even for me, in my experience selling things, I would say I have more success selling directly through like TikTok than I do through my email list. But I don't think my experience is probably universal. I'd just be curious to hear from people who have a different perspective. Email list from independent journalists that I like. That's fair. Phoenix says I do. Monica says I don't. Aaron says I follow links more from Instagram than emails. I'm the same way. Like, if someone shares something on their Instagram story that I'm interested about, I would think I would be more inclined to click on it than from an email. But again, that's just like my consumer behavior. Okay, interesting. Suzanne says I sell almost primarily through my email list. And to answer Suzanne's question from earlier, this comment says, I have been swindled by a good testimonial for sure. Aaron says, I'm on so many email lists that I typically just select them all once a day and just delete them all because I can't keep up with them. That's how I feel. Like, especially the ones that email me like every day or every other day. I eventually reach a point where I have to stop reading them because I'm like, there's just too many. I can't keep up. Three Flamingo says, I buy from both, but highly curated following and email subscriptions. That's fair. Like, you're very selective with who you follow and who you subscribe to. That makes sense. Space Pastry says, it's rare these days that I buy anything from email. Marie says, email's not working well to get me to buy. I buy a lot of low-cost monthly subscriptions and exclusive content and exclusive communities. I think that's different, though. Like, I have, like, my channel membership is an example of this, but I also have, like, paid subscriptions to other creators' content or, like, Substacks. And I'm not necessarily thinking of that, like a premium subscription service, so much as, like, if someone were to email you and say, my thing is 50% off today, would you be inclined to click buy? Yes, I agree with this. Phoenix says, I'm actually more inclined to click on a link that doesn't require me to engage with those coaches when I was in it. This is something I feel like I've complained about on this channel before, but there's nothing that drives me more crazy than people on Instagram promoting a product, a service, an offer, or whatever, and only having the option to comment XYZ. I have nothing against automations. Harrison knows I love my automation. Do not DM me the word template or you will suffer a horrible fate. Thanks to DM automations. I digress. That's not my issue. My issue isn't with the automation. It's with when people only give you the option to comment the word. And if you go to their link in bio, they don't have another way to navigate to the thing that they're selling. Because there's something in my brain that doesn't want it publicly known that I commented on this person's post. I just want to buy my stuff in private. So if you're watching this and you sell things online, there are two different types of consumers. There are the people who want the convenience of just being able to comment to get the link. And there are the people who are nosy and want to be able to do the digging on their own. So you should have both options. Let me comment the word, and then let me also navigate to your website and buy it myself on my own time. Okay? Thank you very much. Three Flamingo says, I don't spend time consuming on social media, so email is how I keep in contact. That's fair. I have fun with some of the coach emails I'm still subscribed to and plug them into ChatGPT to roast them. I love that. New hobby unlocked. Just catching up to the end of the comments. This one says, I'm big into ongoing subscriptions rather than courses, lectures, projects, as I was in the past. Yeah, I think consumer behavior has changed a lot too, and that is a lot more common. Like, I know with the rise of Substack, for example, people are probably, like, there's a few marketers I know that have subscriptions on Substack, and I feel like I would be more inclined to sign up for something like that, where I can, like, read their thoughts on marketing versus buying, like, a course that they're selling. Exactly. Suzanne says, I never comment the word, then I will never stop hearing from them. It's like, I just don't want that clogging up my inbox. I just want to go shopping on my own time. That's all I'm asking for, okay?
Which brings me to step number 2. Build your email list, not just a following. Look, especially in 2025, building and nurturing your email list, it's got to be one of your top priorities. Because here's the truth. Email is still one of the most effective profit-getting marketing channels out.
Based on what statistics, though? That's why I wanted to ask, because I'm very curious to hear people's behaviors. And if you're watching the replay, please let me know. But I want to know where you're getting the snap from, that it's the most effective. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying I want to see the actual numbers that show this.
There. According to HubSpot, email marketing campaigns have an average ROI of 36 times, meaning for every $1 you spend, you could actually make 36 bucks in return. Think about that for a second. Spend $1 and then make 36? I don't know about you, but I'm going to do that all damn day long. Now, to be clear, I'm not suggesting that you ignore social media. I'm saying to keep your priorities straight. Because for 99% of small business owners, prioritizing social over email, it's an extremely foolish move. And you want to know the best part? Any business owner can make email a profit center once you have the right strategy. I want you to meet Sina. Sina and her husband own a...
I don't want to meet Sina. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on. Let me guess. Oh, she made $500 per email to $5,000. Wow. And she doesn't use social media. She's so unique and crazy and cool. I'm so jealous. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Action step number 2. Remember, number 1 was follow your passion. Follow the money, not your passion. Number 2 is...
One step you can take...
What's one step you can take?
Today. To build or nurture your email list.
To build or nurture your email list.
Could you test a new lead magnet? Split test subject lines? Mail more frequently and consistently? Do a re-engagement campaign? Practice better list segmentation? Maybe do a list building sprint for each quarter this year? Map out a sales generating autoresponder series? Clear out inactive subscribers to increase the health of your list? Whatever you choose, I want you to write it down and then get it done.
Do it. Okay, Jackie, welcome. Hello. So nice to have you here. We are looking at Marie Forleo, who is one of the original online business boss babes. She has a course called B School Business School. It teaches you how to build a business. And right now we're watching a 45-minute long sales pitch for said program. So love to see it.
And if you're like, well, Marie, I don't have time to figure out all this email stuff. Can't you just tell me what to do to grow my list? Actually, yes, I can. This is a huge focus in our B School program. You'll learn how to grow your list at hyperspeed using the 7 proven list building strategies from my own private vault. These are time-tested tools that grow a list that can bring in money right away. But for now, let's move on to step number 3. So tell me this. Have you ever said or felt something like this before? Can't I just do the work I love? Why do I have to sell and promote it too? Do I really need to do marketing, Marie? I mean, if my product is amazing, shouldn't people just come find me? Gah, I hate self-promotion. Can't AI or somebody else just do this for me, please? If you've ever felt that way, you are so not alone. But I need you to hear this from me right now.
I think Julia commented on this earlier, but I find it so distracting how quickly the slides are changing. Like, truly, am I a boomer? How do you guys feel about this? It's like, she's putting one sentence on a slide. Why are we doing this? It's like, it's giving Gen Z energy, and I don't like it.
In order to have a profitable, sustainable business in 2025 and beyond, marketing is not optional. It is essential, because if you don't practice smart, effective marketing consistently, you will wind up one of those sad statistics. And no, I'm sorry, this is not something you can hand off to AI. You can't outsource it or have a VA or an agency just do this for you. I know that that's hard for some people to hear, but I am not here to coddle you. I'm here to help you win. Look, AI is a fabulous tool. It can make things a whole lot easier. But here's the truth. AI can't build your business if you don't understand the fundamentals. You'll just wind up more overwhelmed, more confused, and still not making the money that you deserve.
So true. Both of your comments. Erin says, it's like we're watching her teleprompter by mistake. And then Yai says, like, these are captions. Exactly. It's like, why are you saying only what's on the slide? And it's changing every sentence. Like, isn't the point of a slide to enhance the presentation? And you kind of have, like some bullet points maybe, but you're like spitballing. At least that's how I always use slides, of like, these are the 3 topics. Let me yap about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fan.
Which brings us to step number 3. Learn modern marketing, because it is the key to the freedom and the impact that I know you want in your heart. Look, so many brilliant entrepreneurs fail because they just hate marketing. But here's what they don't realize. When marketing is done right, it ain't sleazy, it's service. Look, if you have a product or service that you believe in, and you don't do everything in your power to market the heck out of that thing, guess what? You are stealing from those who need you most. And yes, I said stealing. Because the best product in the world won't save you if nobody knows about it. I want you to meet Vaishali. Vaishali runs an online language school.
I don't want to meet Vaishali, no offense. Not really interested. Blah, blah, blah. So now we're focusing on social media. I'm so confused, guys. What are we doing?
About the money for her. She says, I catch my students talking to their the growth from like 36,000 to over 350,000 per year, like Vaishali, or from 500 to 5,000 an email, like Sina, or from over 100K to 4 million, like Miss Erin.
We're going to have to look for the disclaimer after this, because it's like, where's the thing that's telling me that these results are not typical?
Online, marketing is the key to freedom. Learn it, master it, and watch your business take off. Now, let's turn this third insight into action. This is honestly the most important step of all. Get ready for it. Commit to learning, loving, and practicing modern marketing. Now look, I am 100% biased. I believe the fastest and easiest way to do that is to get your butt in B School.
Come join B School based on information I used to start my business 25 years ago, because I'm sure it's still relevant.
But you can also read books, you can find videos on YouTube, you can listen to podcasts, all kinds of things. But no matter what, commit to yourself and make it happen.
I think that if I was starting a business in 2025, not really knowing what I'm doing, I would not be looking to someone whose business experience started 25 years ago. Yes, there is something to be said about, the longer you've been in business, the more insights you have. I just really feel specifically with these online gurus, they're just regurgitating information from 25, 20, 15, 10 years ago. It's like, are you actively aware of what it takes to build a business now?
Because marketing done right, it is the fast track to your financial freedom. And it'll help you make the difference that I know you were born to make. Sound good? Okay, let's do a quick recap here. So step number 1, don't follow your passion, follow the money. The key to success is selling what people already want to buy. Erin followed this and turned her $100,000 business into $4 million plus. Build your email list, not just a following. That's step 2. Remember, Sina went from 0 to $500 to $5,000 in email. It's pretty incredible. Step number 3, you want to learn modern marketing because it's the key to your freedom and your impact.
Learn modern marketing by starting a YouTube channel. Exactly to Erin's point here, what frustrates me is that these coaches don't count YouTube as social media. No. We don't have time for social media. We're focusing on YouTube, okay? Get it straight. Wow!
Marketing isn't about being pushy. It's about helping the right people find you. Vaishali used this to grow her business to over $350,000 a year. Now, let me ask you this question. If you actually implemented these steps, do you think your business would look radically different over the next 6 to 12 months? Because I can tell you right now, it most definitely will. But I don't want to just tell.
Why does she talk like this? I can tell you right now, we gonna be successful, everybody. We gonna be successful. Like, you don't talk like this, lady. Why are you doing this?
Tell you what to do. I want to help you implement this so you can start seeing real results fast. You know, I've taken everything I learned over the past 24 years in business, all the mistakes, all the hard lessons, the strategies that actually work, and I put them into a step-by-step system called B-School, your fast track to financial freedom. And this is not just some random.
Okay, I feel like this is a rebrand. I don't recall this previously being called the fast track to financial freedom. Is that someone who's bought this? Has it always been marketed like this? Because I don't think so.
Online course, right? It is a complete business growth system that's designed to help you find your most profitable idea or refine the one that you already have. It'll help you attract high-paying clients and customers without relying on the nightmare of social media. It'll help you build a business that gives you freedom and flexibility and financial security. And the best part, the system works whether you're just starting out, it works whether you're ready to scale, and it works if you need to reinvent yourself and your business.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. Anyone offering you a one-size-fits-all solution, run in the opposite direction. Allegedly, in my opinion, that's what I would be doing.
You see, when you join B-School, here's exactly what you're going to get inside the program. We're going to start off by unlocking that B-School profitability code, which is all in the 6 core trainings. So module 1, we start off with how to maximize your profits guaranteed. I got to tell you, module 1 is a game changer. This module alone will change your entire life. For this alone, you need to get in. Module 2, how to craft irresistible offers that unleash a flood of sales. So this is really understanding how to price and package and position what you do so your ideal clients are like, yes, please, and just taking out their credit card. Module number 3, how to make money in your sleep by mastering modern marketing. We just talked about this. I have so much to teach you on this topic. I'm probably one of the best in the world. And if you have any resistance, you think that it's slimy or skeezy or it's just hard or overwhelming, please get your buns in B-School because I will cure that for you forever. Module number 4, how to grow a profitable email list that pays you for life. We just talked about this. This is an asset that can take care of you and your family forever if you do it right. Module number 5, how to catapult your reach and your audience growth without burning cash on ads. This is really important, especially for those of us who don't have a lot of resources. How do you grow a big audience? What are smart strategies that work now and that can work in the future? I'm going to show you everything. And then module 6, how to turn your site into a non-stop sales conversion machine. So now more than ever, it's important not to make silly decisions about technology. All of your technology should be geared towards helping you convert more, sell more, and have more ease and simplification in your life. And we're going to show you how to get there. So every single module in B-School is packed with very simple step-by-step strategies that are proven to get results. None of this is theory. It's all battle tested.
Okay, so I will say, as I'm listening to her, rattle off all these features, if I was very inexperienced, not really aware of how starting and building a business worked, I could see that I'm listening to, all these different modules of all these great things I'm going to learn and how this would be appealing to people. I don't want this to come across as like, oh my God, if you buy this, you're an idiot. Because I can absolutely see how hearing that is like, she's going to teach me the exact sales system I need to guarantee that I make sales because it's been tested and proven to work. Sounds pretty good to me, to be honest. But I would never buy this, allegedly.
If you implement even a fraction of what you learn in the core modules, I'm telling you, you can create a profit machine that will give you financial freedom for life. I've done that for myself. I've helped countless other people do it, and I want to help you do it
How many people is countless? Give us a number.
too. It can help you reach hundreds, thousands, even millions more customers. So you can spend more quality time with the people that you love, because isn't that what most important? It's most important to me. Now, what would that kind of freedom be worth to you over a lifetime? $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 or more? If you've ever done one of my programs before, you know we do not skimp on anything. Being modest, the value of the core B School system is at least $15,000, but you are not going to pay anywhere close to that for B School. And guess what?
This is like a classic sales strategy where they tell you, you get all these bonuses and it's worth X amount of dollars so that when they slap you with a $2,000 price tag, it sounds like you're getting a heavy discount. So just keep that in mind.
Core training is just the beginning. There's a whole lot more, because as a B Schooler, you're going to get extraordinary support every single step of the way, including breakthrough business coaching. So you're going to have access to our trusted team of B School mentors throughout the entire live program. These are some of the most supportive, insightful people on the planet. They've got expertise in website design and e-commerce.
I love that they just had a slide with a bunch of people's faces. Like, who are those people?
Product launches, course development, membership sites, coaching, and so much more. They're going to be actively guiding and advising and answering your questions every day. Because let's face it, success happens faster for all of us when we have the right support. And working with a professional business coach, it can cost anywhere between, $3,000 to $10,000 or more a month. But the support of our B School mentor coaches is on me for the live portion of the program. That is how committed I am to your success.
Super interesting. Those of you that have taken this, was she involved in a live capacity previously? I think something I've noticed across the coaching industry as a whole, especially with like a lot of the people that have been in it for a really long time, specifically I'm thinking of Stacey Bayman, but I know I've seen it elsewhere. A lot of these like OG coaches are returning back to their roots of like actually having to actively coach in their programs in order to get people to want to buy. So I'm curious if when you took it, was she actively involved or was she kind of like just in the pre-recorded modules? Because I think like people are now no longer buying you and your business. They want like specific direct access to you.
The value of that level of daily professional support is worth at least $9,000. But that's still not all. Because as a B Schooler, you also get access to live weekly coaching. That's right. We're going to be working with you every single week live in our group.
Jackie, if you would ever consider it, please submit your story anonymously to my coaching submission form because I want to know. I want to know the tea. I want to know the drama.
Group coaching sessions. These video sessions, I gotta tell you, they are pure fire. We're gonna be there to make sure you get the real talk, the feedback, everything you need to keep moving forward and grow and get results. And at a minimum, these live weekly sessions are worth at least $7,000.
A single session is worth $7,000. Lady. Or is she saying like in total every week, then it's worth $7,000? Either way, that's crazy. No, absolutely not.
But of course, that's still not all, because I'm not done yet. You're also going to get a library of business tools, swipe files, templates, cheat sheets, everything to help you save time, energy, and money. I've done so much work for you over the decades, so you don't have to. And if you're someone who struggles with overwhelm from time to time, like you're always juggling 27 million different ideas,
well, no one would be doing that because remember, none of us are multi-passionate like you. You're unique and quirky, remember?
I think you're going to love this next bonus. It's called the follow-through formula. It's valued at least $499. It's a quick and powerful productivity program that's going to help you get super focused very fast. Listen to what Lauren said.
No.
After finishing the follow-through formula, I applied what I learned to a long...
Oh, I can't skip ahead because her freaking thing is in my way. Okay, you'll learn to choose the right business model, navigate multiple passions, testimonial. Get started with all these different websites. Blah, 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 blah. So many bonuses, so many trainings. And we'll also get lifetime access. Oh my God, this is crazy. Where's the price?
It is the Instant Moneymaker campaign.
Okay. Oh, I must have missed it. Sorry, I can't see where the cursor is, so we are struggling to figure this out. Okay, maybe if I go like here. Notice how it's giving me a countdown timer, but I can still get the fast action bonus. So I guess I could just click here and it'll tell me. But this is a pre-recorded webinar that she wants you to think is live. It's not live. This countdown timer means nothing. I signed up for this webinar like 6 days ago. And it's still, oh, the fast action bonus is ending soon. No, it's not. Why are you lying? Mark it on the list of red flags. These fake freaking countdown timers. Complete BS. Make your dream business a reality. Ooh. Okay, how much? Tell me the price. Oh my God, this sales page is so long. Okay, so you could join today for the low price of just 14 payments of $199 per month. Or you could pay $2,499. So the price has gone up from what I recall, because I believe it used to be $1,997. But don't worry, they take Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Google Pay, Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna, and PayPal. So you have so many options to pay for this program. Three Flamingo says, lifetime of the product, always the product, not your life, just as long as the product exists. 100%. Oh my God. The number of times I have seen people offer or pay for lifetime products and then they lose access like 12 months later because the person decides they no longer want to offer it. Interesting. Okay, so this is like the world's longest sales page that we've ever seen. Look how small the cursor is on the right-hand side of the screen here. So much stuff, so many words, modules, blah, blah, blah. Video testimonials. Oh, this lady was in Jurassic Park, so she must be pretty legit. Blah, blah, blah. More modules, more bonuses. Like, this is crazy. This huge red flag, as Sweet Goth already noted. Any kind of overinflated value, complete nonsense. Actually, the FTC says you cannot write a price like this unless you've actually successfully had someone pay you that price for this thing. So I would be curious to know if someone has paid her $9,000 for her breakthrough business coaching. Crazy. Okay, and then it's the sales pitch again for the price. Yeah, the comments. $200 a month is considered low? Low monthly payment of $200? That's extortion. Especially if you're outside of the US, like in Canada, that would be at least $250 a month. In Australia, it's probably closer to $260, $270. Absolutely crazy. Okay, then we got some FAQs, and that's where she's going to tell you it's good for any business of any size and any experience. Because it's saying, I'm new and don't have a business. Is it for me? Yes. I have a successful business. Will it help me? Unquestionably, yes. My industry is unique. Can it work? Well, we have successful businesses across 650 industries. So obviously, if it worked for them, it'll work for you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the actual live portion of the program that was valued at $7,000 is actually only 4 weeks. So I love to see that. And Oh, this is great. Will I speak with or get feedback directly from Marie? You very well may, and we can't promise that. Shouldn't it say, but we can't promise that? Marie delivers her best advice and strategies from over 23 years of experience in the trainings. Remember, this is not a one-on-one coaching program. It's a powerful group learning experience. So in addition to the trainings, you'll get additional support from our B-School mentor coaches. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, then we do like the guilt tripping. So if you've read this far, you owe yourself to answer these questions honestly. Buy my program. Stop playing small. Oh my God, this is giving like mid 2010s Instagram girl boss. It's like she has not lost her OG roots, and I love that for her. She is committed to the bit. Okay, and that's the end. That's the end of the sales page. So let's go to her website. And I know we read this last time, but we can read it again. Her About Me page. So this is like the big launch because I guess the program's going live next week. But I want to know a little bit more about this lady, especially for those of you that are new here. So Marie is an entrepreneur, a speaker, and a writer dedicated to helping you create a business and a life that you love. Born and raised Jersey girl with nothing more than passion, a laptop, and a dream. Guys, she is just like you. So if you want to be successful in business, you can be because she is, allegedly. Blah, 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 Marie TV. I have a podcast. I can do all these things. I wasn't born knowing how to do anything. It wasn't fancy degrees or family money or connections that landed me on an Oprah stage or the cover of Success magazine. In fact, I was deep in debt when I started out. I grew up in New Jersey in a modest Italian-American home with plastic-covered couches. But when I was little, my mom taught me something that defined my whole life. Everything is figure-outable. She has a book called that, I believe. Meaning there is nothing in life that you can't experience, achieve, transform, or transcend as long as you're willing to roll up your sleeves, get in there, and go for it. Blah, blah, blah. Now I am a superstar speaking on the stage around the world, bumping elbows with celebrities. And I'm here to serve because everything I do is just for the good of you. And I don't want your money, except I do want your money. Actually, that's what I care about the most, is having all of your money. Okay, let me see. Suzanne says, interesting, B-School used to only be live once per year, and it was in March. So maybe we're doing, multiple launches per year now. I actually don't know that to be true. It's just a question. Or speculation, I suppose. Yeah, this says, very much Marie is committed to living in the 2010s forever and ever. I think her Instagram, for me at least, was a clear depiction of that because it was very much giving mid-2010s Instagram with like the infographics and just like, what are you doing? B school just makes me think of a step down from A school. Yeah. Sweet Goth says, the OG coaches haven't had to adapt the same as the new ones, so they will still be operating as they did years ago. Honestly, that's how it feels. Like when we watch, the webinar we just watched is the same webinar formula we've been seeing for at least 10 years, if not longer. At least I've been seeing. I think that the promises she's making, charging people for this advice that, in my opinion, you could just find on Google or YouTube, or through ChatGPT. Like, I don't know. I just don't see the value in buying these things anymore. And again, that's just my opinion. I know some people like, the format of having a course that they can follow, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. I just, for $2,500, that seems insane to me. June says, when I was born, I was just a baby. And when I was a child, I didn't know anything because I was just a child. True, so true. I do dig the saying, everything is figure outable. You know what? I will agree with this statement. And it's a shame that it's been adopted into the like grifter side of the internet. But I do agree with that. I do think that like my perspective in life has always been, if a problem presents itself, I will find a solution. When I quit my job in 2018, my perspective was, well, if this business doesn't work out, I will figure it out. I'll get a new job, whatever. There has not been a problem I have not been able to solve because I am just a master at solving problems, and you guys should all buy my online course and I'll teach you how to solve your problems. I'm just kidding. But I do think that that is a good perspective to have, of like becoming more resilient and understanding that when challenges present themselves, you can overcome them. It's just a shame that it's now like tied into this like how to be successful BS. Jackie says, the coach I worked for had a program exactly like this. She was mentioned by Marie, so no figure, but she charged $10,000. Ah! That is so crazy.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
But it's not a pyramid scheme, so don't worry about anything. Some people are certificate chasers. I have a local friend with like 20 to 40 certifications. I also think like when you're in the sort of like coaching bubble, you feel like you always need to be buying programs and investing in the next thing and learning the new thing and staying on top of whatever. Like there is this sort of like pressure, whether you put it on yourselves or you feel it externally from the communities that you're in, where you always feel the need to, be buying the newest, coolest next thing. Because you want to, stay up to date with what's going on. Yeah, I get better info for free from university courses and YouTube and government business sites. Honestly, guys, Y Combinator, which is like one of the biggest startup incubators in Silicon Valley. Can you tell I'm dating a tech bro? They offer all the information on how to start a business completely for free on their website. So maybe start there and learn from actual people who have actually built billion-dollar businesses. Suzanne says, I used to be a certificate chaser. It was totally a thing. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Harrison says, they would scam babies and children if they could. Allegedly, they just might, Oh, no. Okay. I want to do one more thing, and then I might jump off here early. I got things to do, guys. I'm busy being an influencer today, so I have to be going out of my house to influence people. But I did want to check one quick thing before we carry on. I just want to see like what people are saying about B School as of late, because it appears they've done a little bit of a rebrand. Is it any good? Let's find out what the internet has to say. Okay, can I just say, you guys, please let me know what you think. I get really irritated. And this might be, I don't know why this irritates me. Obviously, I spent a lot of time in the Life Coach Snark subreddit. What I've noticed recently is an influx of people asking for coaching advice in the Life Coach Snark subreddit. Guys, I'm not a mod there, but like I said, I do spend a lot of time there. Please reserve the Life Coach Snark subreddit for snarking. And if you have questions about how to grow your life coaching business, I guess if you want advice on like whether or not someone's program is good, that's a little different, but more specifically like how to grow a coaching business, where to get clients in your coaching business, etc., go to r/life coaching. The number of times in a week I go in there out of my way and comment, you're lost, go to r/life coaching. Save yourself the trouble. Just go there in the first place. If you want to snark or you want to know the tea on a coach, Life Coach Snark subreddit for sure. If you are a coach and you want to know how do I find clients, life coaching, r/life coaching. Okay, just glad we cleared that up. Thank you. Okay. Suzanne says, read the room. That's how I feel. I'm like, how did you get here? Did you read any of the other posts in this forum? Why would you think I want to help you build your business? Honestly, I think it's people don't understand how Reddit works, which is fair because it took me a while to figure it out too. Okay, what one do we want to read? There is What Happened to Marie Forleo's B School? What Happened to Marie Forleo? B School ? Let's see, which one's more recent? Maybe this one is from 6 months ago. What happened to Marie Forleo? Has anyone done her courses? Feels like she kind of dropped off. Got a bunch of desperation marketing of her dream course, dropping the price every other day. Well, she didn't drop the price of B School, I'll tell you that for free. Giving $1,000 off, now to pitching it as $199. I know we've talked about this before, and those of you in the comments have shared your thoughts previously, but there is something so icky to me about coaches who charge thousands of dollars for their program, only to a year or two later drop the price to like $199. Like, how do the people who paid thousands of dollars feel about the fact that you're now selling what they paid a lot of money for, basically for close to free? Because I would be pissed. Seems like she's doing whatever she can to try to get more people to join. Doesn't seem like she has any affiliates promoting her courses anymore. Amy Porterfield, Gabby Bernstein, Mel Robbins was in there too, etc. She was kind of the business and marketing thing back in the day, but no one is talking about her anymore. This comment says, I think you make enough money eventually to not give a shit anymore. Fair. I guess I've already liked all these comments. I don't remember this thread at all, but I've been here. We can see it. Honestly, so many more people should do this instead of continuing to grift. Take your money and run, baby. What did she say? Follow the money, not the passion. I did B School back in 2012, and at the time found it reasonably useful. It also gave me the confidence to start my own business. But now you can easily get all that info online for free. That's what I'm saying. Okay, 10 years ago, maybe sure, because not so many people were talking about this. But with things like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, there are so many options now to get information for free. I mean, not to like, oh, go follow me on TikTok, but I have a following on TikTok, almost 70,000 followers, because I give away everything for free. I teach you how to start a business in Canada, how to register that business, where to get a business bank account. I will give you the step-by-steps you need completely for free, no charge. Because why the hell are you paying people in this year of 2025 to build a business when everything you need to know is available on the internet for free? Half the time I'm just pointing to the government website being like, it's literally written right here. This is all you got to Google to figure it out. I'll get off my soapbox. Okay. I also didn't mind Time Genius, even though nothing was revolutionary, but I at least found it decently motivating. When she launched Dream Club last year, though, it made me laugh. Helping people achieve their dreams is the most vague, airy-fairy outcome for a program. She herself would have advised against that in B School, and she was charging so much money for it. Oh my God. I don't think she's as grifty as some of the others out there, because at least her products are well made and well written. But I do think that the niche that made her successful, aka what she taught in B School, is no longer teachable or as lucrative as it once was. And now she's grappling around for a new direction. That's how I feel. I feel like her, and not just specifically her and all of her little cronies that all came up in the mid 2010s are relying on what worked for them 10 years ago. And they're acting like it's still applicable today. And it's not. People are building businesses every single day in the 2020s, completely different from how they would have done it 10 years ago. Also, her book, Everything is Figure Outable, is wildly disappointing. I expected so much better from her. It could have been an Instagram post, and instead she stretched it out to fill a whole book and then strategically launched the shit out of it so she could add #1 New York Times bestselling author to her bio. And I hate the aggressive terms and conditions she has for her program, which basically try to stop anyone from leaving a negative review anywhere on the internet. That's predatory behavior. I think they also make it way too hard for people to get refunds, even when they have good reason. Wait, so reading all that back, maybe I do actually think she's bigly grifty. Thank you so much to this Redditor. I love it. This comment says, I think the first round, or maybe the first 2 rounds of B School helped a group of women tremendously. This was before YouTube and video were established and blogging as a part of business was still not as popular. Some of the ladies in her first group include Tanya Lee and the Tarot Lady, but then that info was everywhere for free. Exactly. I'm not shitting on this if you bought it 10 years ago, but I just don't see how you could spend $2,500 on a course like this when you could probably learn everything inside it for free now. Allegedly, in my opinion. Where can you find the stuff, the useful things that you learned in B-School online? This comment says, in any business-related podcast, social media account, subreddit, etc. Back then, 2012-ish, that kind of info was much harder to find, but now it's everywhere. 100%. So a lot of people who did it back in 2013, 2014, 2015, it looks like, are saying that it was really helpful back then, which again, I could totally believe that and see that. I don't see the value now in this year of 2025 when we have access to so much information at our fingertips. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to catch up on your comments. Oh, we can turn off the Bubba Cam because he abandoned us. That guy doesn't even like us anymore. How rude. Yeah, 100%. Realistically, though, this happens in retail as a matter of course. Hot things become stale and things become on clearance. Agreed, but then why isn't she discounting this program? Why is she charging, in fact, more now than she did 10 years ago when it was actually relevant? So it's like, if I have this thing that I'm selling that's no longer relevant to people, shouldn't I be giving them a discount to try and get them to buy it? Why am I increasing the price? Suzanne says, I have been annoyed, and when I email them to say, they tell me they're just getting the replays. You got a live round and got to be in my energy. Like, that makes it worth 100 times the price. BS, BS, BS. Phoenix says, to be honest, at this point, we've been so hardwired to want the branding more than the product, thinking that the branding is what will get us there because they make it look easy. Yeah, I think a lot of times people will just buy a person, like a person's persona versus the actual substance of what they're selling. I wouldn't say, like, I don't know if Marie specifically falls so much into that category anymore, just because I don't feel she's as relevant as she was 5-10 years ago. And I don't mean that as like, oh, shots fired. Ooh. I just think that there's like other cooler, more up-to-date people in the business space that I personally would be more inclined to just buy whatever they're selling because I think that they really get the market now. But maybe some of these legacy coaches still have that power amongst their specific target demographic, because I know I'm not her target audience in the first place. But I will agree that I do think sometimes people can be really good at just like selling. They sell whatever they put out because people are so obsessed with them versus the content. I'm surprised that the course wasn't renamed. Yeah, renamed, repackaged, and acted like it was something new so that people who already bought it would buy it again. I'm sure we've seen that before. Yeah, it's also outdated content. Not all of this is relevant anymore. Exactly. I totally agree. But her weekly live coaching is worth $7,000. Come on, guys. 100%. Yeah, I agree. Three Flamingos that a lot of it's irrelevant. And I mean, it's going to keep changing as AI starts, improving and taking over. Like, are we really going to need online courses? I don't know. Thoughts for another day. All right, friends, I'm going to wrap it up here because I, have things to do. Like I said, I'm so popular. But thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next Monday and maybe I'll have a video this week. I have been busy out here hustling, working for my clients because, I just do YouTube for fun mostly. So I apologize for the lack of content lately, but I will try my best to get something out to you. So thank you so much. I love you, but not in like a weird parasocial way. I just love the idea that we all get to hang out together and yap on the internet because this is my favorite hobby, okay? Take care, comb your hair, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.